Here's the thing about presidents and the economy. If you're the president, you're going to get credit if the economy is good, and you're going to get blamed if it's bad, whether or not you were the cause of either. Here's a great example of that. Barack Obama and Democratic congressional majorities rescued the economy from the financial crisis of the previous Republican president. Then Donald Trump takes over and turns around and starts taking credit for the best economy ever, even though he inherited an economy that had finally, after too long, gathered enough strength after the shock of 2008. Here's what it looks like. This is the line of growth, the gross domestic product beginning in 2009 to January this year. The shaded gray area in the middle there, that's the 2020 recession that happened because of COVID. Here's the average growth that happened when Donald Trump took office. See how that's just like a straight line? Like there's no big disjuncture there. It's not like, oh yeah, that's where Donald Trump took over. The Trump economy just continued on the trajectory that had been laid for it. And yet Donald Trump still got credit. If you look at the polling, he got credit. In fact, presidents' political fortunes are so tied to the performance of the economy that decades of political science literature has shown the best way to predict re-election for a sitting incumbent president is basically what the economy is doing in the election year. Now, historically, when presidents oversee huge changes in economic fortunes, their fates then rest on that. So, an example, 1981, Ronald Reagan takes over a time of stagflation and recession. By 1994, the inflation had come down, the economy was growing, and Reagan ran with it.
It's morning again in America. Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history. With interest rates at about half the record highs of 1980, nearly 2,000 families today will buy new homes, more than at any time in the past 4 years. It's morning again in America.
Every time I see that ad, I'm like, that was a really good political ad. Morning again in America. Similarly, Bill Clinton took over. He also took over during a recession. But by 1996, the economy was roaring, and he beat Bob Dole. Now, Joe Biden took over the American economy as president, one of the weirdest, most intense crises we've ever seen. It was something that the world hadn't seen in 100 years. But he has turned it around. Today, he was in Chicago to take credit for what he called Bidenomics.
Folks, let me say it as clearly as I can. The trickle-down approach failed the middle class. It failed America. Guess what? Bidenomics is working. When I took office, the pandemic was raging and our economy was reeling. Today, the U.S. has the highest economic growth rate, leading the world economies since the pandemic, the highest in the world.
As Biden might say, that's true, folks, literally, no joke. By all accounts, the Biden administration, the American economy, has done a lot, right? Less than 2 months into office, Democrats passed the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, party line vote. Then they passed the infrastructure bill, that was bipartisan. Then Democrats, along with some Republicans, passed the $52 billion CHIPS Act. And then they went on, with zero Republican support, to pass the sweeping $750 billion Inflation Reduction Act. And all of that together really has changed the American economy. Here's a graph, GDP among the G7, right, 7 richest economies. The yellow line, the top line there, represents the United States, right? And the white dotted line in the middle represents pre-COVID GDP. We are doing the best. Again, that's not the 7 richest economies, but the 7 in the G7. We are doing the best of any of our peers in the world. We have the highest post-pandemic growth. Look, that yellow line on top, we're beating everyone. Here's another graph of inflation among G7 countries, right? These are our peer countries. This is the one where you want to be on the bottom. The United States is the black line there, right where you'd want it to be. That means we have the lowest inflation, meaning the highest growth and the lowest inflation. Here's a graph of the U.S. Consumer Price Index, which measures everything you can think of from when Joe Biden took office in January 2021 to this May, right? That's the measure of inflation. That red arrow on your screen is when Democrats passed the somewhat cheekily named, in my view, Inflation Reduction Act. Look what happened after they passed the Inflation Reduction Act. Inflation reduced. It went down. Inflation actually slowed in May to the lowest rate in 2 years. So right now, here's where things stand. After all the disruption, after all the difficulty and the headwinds, we have one of the strongest economies in the entire world. Stronger than any of our peer countries, with higher growth and lower inflation and a booming jobs market, possibly one of the strongest economies we have seen. I mean, according to the latest estimate, under the Biden administration, the U.S. has created about 13.6 million jobs since Biden took office. That is more than double the combined total of Trump's first 3 years. Part of that is due to COVID, of course, but it didn't have to necessarily come out that way, right? You get credit when you're there. The unemployment rate in May was just above the lowest level since 1969. Consumer confidence is now coming back up. It's its highest level since early 2022. That's when inflation really started to bite. Housing starts surged last month by the most in more than 3 decades. And in the post-pandemic economy, low-income workers are making huge wage gains, historic wage gains. We haven't seen them before. We also have record investments in green energy, unbelievable amounts of clean energy now coming online. We have unprecedented amounts of labor power, at least unprecedented in the 21st century, that's for sure. It has resulted in more unions forming and more strikes. I mean, this is, in total, if it continues this way, if there is a soft landing, if we avoid a recession, right? It is one of the most impressive macroeconomic interventions in recent American history in the last 100 years. If we end up in 2024 with these trends continuing, Joe Biden has one of the best economic stories to tell of any president in the last century, which is why he's going to be telling that story right here on MSNBC tomorrow in this room when he sits down for a live studio interview here at 30 Rock with Nicole Wallace.